ratings are going down. I mean, not going up.
You know, people find new stuff to watch. That's the thing. You know, it's it's really, and it's tough to get them back. Dude, there's so much content out there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't understand why they stuck with this. The Negan storyline was great, but they really, I felt they had to up their game. Like, when I truly loved The Walking Dead is mainly when they were on the road, the group.
Yeah, well, that's when it was most exciting. Well, let's talk about it when we get in the show.
Yeah, sure.
You ready?
Well, I usually like the opening monologues. We usually bullshit.
That's true.
Just because Jamie's not here doesn't mean we can't fucking do that, dude.
I know, but we're going to talk about it in the show.
Well, we probably will. You're right.
No, definitely.
Sure.
I'm prepared, man. I got my show notes.
Yeah, I got my.
Do you need another beer?
In a minute.
Because they're in there. I got a 12 of the Lawson's.
Actually, let me get another beer before we start this.
Okay. I'm still on that Lawson's kick.
What are you talking about? That beer?
Sip of Sunshine, and then they got the session, the super session, which is yummy.
Is it really?
Well, it's for a session. It's tasty as hell, man. And, you know.
Oh, I did like this.
It won't get you all hammered up, man. I mean.
Where did you get this at?
I got it at Spaz.
Ooh, I'm gonna get this first.
God, we mentioned him so much. They should cut me a deal.
Fucking Spaz's, god damn it!
Dude, I went to that's an 8%er, man.
Yeah. Your wife's like, you get it up. I'm like, dude, fucking drive, man.
Drink a 4-pack of them, man.
I just want to go home tonight. My wife will be getting up with the kids on her own. She's like, fucking Nick.
Yeah.
Get me back tomorrow night.
I know. We don't have a leg to stand on. When it comes to that.
No, double standard. The women just don't understand.
You know what it is, man? We just don't care.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother the other day because he was bitching about, his wife. They're going through a move and all that.
Yeah.
So
stressful, man.
Very stressful, but they're arguing about everything, which you usually do in a move.
Yeah.
But it's like the double standards. And I'm like, it is what it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, we're going to give in. We always do.
Yeah. It's because, I've been married now for,
ever?
It was just our 18th anniversary on Sunday.
18 years you've been married?
Yeah.
Or 18 years you've been together?
No, 20 years together, 18 married.
Wow.
I'm 48, man.
Do you guys got something special planned for your 20th?
Yeah, we're thinking about definitely a trip. Honeymoon was in Hawaii, so Hawaii's up there. If we go to Greece with you guys, then we won't have to do that.
Well, actually, I'm trying to plan something special for Shannon's 40th.
Nice.
Like, she never listens to the podcast anyway. Something, I'll tell you afterwards.
You think she doesn't.
Sometimes she does, and I get so fucking surprised. I'm like, motherfucker. But
what was that? We were talking about the weather girl, the Mexican weather girl.
Well, I told her that I gave her, I talked about her salon on the show. I gave her
that's right. Right.
What do you call that?
Plug.
I gave her a plug.
Mm-hmm.
And she went, I forgot we talked about the weather girl. I don't give a shit. That weather girl's fucking ass is... Dude, you can bounce a quarter off that fucking ass.
Cindy and I, we were in San Diego, and we were on the beach.
Did you run into her?
No. Oh. But...
How did you not get
How did I not break my neck?
Yeah, exactly.
Sunglasses,
man. Or get caught looking every fucking 5 seconds.
Sunglasses, and did I tell you I've been with this woman for 20 years?
Yeah.
I had a lot of practice, My peripheral is on point.
I used to ascribe to the theory. Subscribe, you're right.
Yeah.
To the theory of, if I see a hot girl coming far away, I'll pretend like I'm looking, like if she's walking to me, I'll look straight ahead, like I know she's coming in my line of vision. So I'm like, I can't help you. I didn't see that, but I got a good look. But you know what? They fucking know,
dude.
They know always, man. And she can't get around.
So we're in San Diego. The boys are such a creeper. The boys had surf lessons, and their surf instructor is just fit is an understatement. But I
didn't know you were into guys, dude.
No. I would if I would be if guys looked like this woman.
You did tell me about this. Oh,
and it's like, again, I got eyes straight ahead, but got the sunglasses on, or head facing straight ahead, sunglasses on. And then Cindy said something about, oh my God, look at the ass on her. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like that. She started laughing. She's like, oh yeah, sure you do. She doesn't care. Yeah. You know, I mean, being honest, she doesn't care. Just don't be disrespectful.
Yeah, don't ogle, don't drool.
Exactly.
And don't stick your dick in it.
Yes, exactly. They're the 3 commandments of marriage.
Exactly. You do everything else, just don't do those things.
Yeah. I got to write that down. You ready to get into this?
Absolutely, my friend.
All right. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Nick, Jon, and Jamie Show. I'm Jon.
I'm Nick.
And we are without Jamie. Jamie is in the throes, of course. This is going to be a little while. We're going to have some touch and go as far as Jamie's attendance, and of course we miss him every time he's not on the show. But he's slogging it out, doing what he can do. Absolutely what's best for him and his family. So we do miss him, but we applaud his effort. And he'll be back. He's not going to be here this week, and he's not going to be here next week, but the week after he'll be.
Oh, he's not going to be here next week either?
No, it's going to be. He's got 2 weekends of things that are solid booked, so he wants to balance his time with his fam.
So just to give you a heads up, Sunday's out for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we toyed around with that idea.
I'm still in for Sundays. This Sunday's out. If you were thinking about trying to.
This Sunday coming. Oh, so it's not off the table completely.
I want to do Sundays.
Yeah, I think Sundays are tight.
Sundays are better. It's just we have a lot going on this Sunday, so I just can't.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know, but just Sundays. Trust me, going forward, probably 100%. Well, it is Eagles season, so it's a little difficult.
Yeah, well, here's why I like Sundays. I think we do early shows on Sundays. We're refreshed.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're not dragging from the day's work, trying to squeeze it in, not being exhausted. And thinking about like I got to go home, I got to do this. Jamie got to drive an hour and a half, wherever.
Yeah, I mean we're all still hustling. This is our part-time gig.
Yeah. We want it to be our full-time gig, so more people please listen to the Nick, Jon, and Jamie Show. Yeah, or subscribe. It's Spotify and everything that Jon says at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. As long as the numbers keep going up, I'm going to keep saying it.
So where was I? I lost my train of thought.
No, we were just saying Sundays how they work. I think
going forward, they're probably going to be the best solution for everybody, especially when he finally moves on from where he's at, Jamie, and finds a suitable
someplace
housing.
A little bit more local.
And that's the goal for them.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Sundays are usually kind of a lazy day for the most part. Early. Well, you guys have kids, so not so much for you guys.
No, it's great early because then I get out of the house. See you later, bye!
Well, your boys are going to be another, a couple years. Your boys will be, they'll be communicating a lot more.
I'll tell you right now, it's really cool. I mean, it's been a tough year, but because they're turning 1 in a week and a half.
That's right.
It's been a tough year, but really starting to see them both go into their own. Now, you haven't been over my house lately, but we have the whole living room sectioned off.
Yeah.
Right. There's padding by where the fireplace is and a gate by the fireplace, but it's all sectioned off. So they're like crawling up all around the places.
I love it.
Oh, it's awesome. Luke, we call, his name's Luke, but we go Lukey. He likes that.
Sure.
Dude is he's super smart. I don't know where he got it from, not me or Shannon. This kid knows what's going on. You can't pull a fast one in. And I'm like, I joke around with him I tease him with something over here. He'll fall forward twice, and then he'll look back and be like,
Nope.
Carson, I could do it all day. But Carson has that cute, lovable face.
Sure.
So Lukey's going to be that guy to know shit. And just, you ain't fucking with me. I already know what you're doing.
That's going to be tough, man, because it doesn't get any easier. Yeah, I mean.
And they're just starting to interact. Everybody talks about twins and the interaction when you'll start seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, my babysitter today was their grandmom. She was watching them, and she said Carson and Luke were just sitting there giggling at each other for 5 minutes today.
Yeah, dude,
it's cool.
I'll tell you what.
It's weird thing to see. You grew up with your brother. You were a twin. Yeah.
Right. I told the corniest joke in the world was, I was best man at his wedding, and we were roommates before we were roommates.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
That was even before I was a dad, so that was like pre-dad jokes.
God, there was crickets in the room. Wasn't
There was a collective sigh over the 100 and some people that were at the wedding.
You know, our best man speech is about that real quick.
What's that?
The worst thing you could do is ever make a joke because most people won't get it.
Yeah, if it's too inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned that after 4 best man speeches I've had to give.
Yeah, if it's...
I have to give 4. Yeah, 4.
You were best man 4 times?
I'm a great guy.
You are a great guy.
I am a great guy. No, I was best man at my brother's, my friend Danny's. Mm-hmm. And I was the best man at my friend Joe's twice. I told him, I said, if he needs a third time, just to count me out, dude. Obviously, I'm the bad luck charm, dude.
That's right. Yeah. You never know. It could be the best one yet. You had 2 times to practice.
It was funny about his, though. He made a joke on his. He's like, you know... He was introducing me to come up because, you know, Joe, he likes to give speeches. He gave some speech at his own wedding.
He's a great public speaker.
Oh, he's awesome. It's like he gave a speech right before mine, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, now you got to live up to that.
So he's like, this is the kind of guy that, you know, when he's talking about me, and he's like, this is the kind of guy that when you have a bad night out there and you get stuck in jail, he'll be right there with you. And I walk up, I said, no, I'll be the one bailing you the fuck out.
That's right.
Let's get back on topic.
Yeah. Let's go. So let's get into it with this week's box office. So this week's box office, actually,
is it a big joke? Is it a big joke?
It's absolutely. It's the most serious joke. Why? Not even why so serious, but it's obviously Joker led the box office for this week. This weekend, I should say. This past weekend. I did see it.
Ooh, I didn't see it. I want to hear your review because I heard it's getting crushed.
I will give you my opinion.
The early reviews were like it was unbelievable, and then when it finally hit the scene, I heard it wasn't quite what everybody was led to believe.
Well, I have my thoughts on why it's divisive. But we'll talk about it.
I'm not going to go see it so you can spill the beans.
Okay. All right. So
because I love the Heath Ledgers. I don't think it's better.
So I want to talk about that too.
Oh, I love it.
So this is for weekend of October 4th through the 6th. Joker led the box office with a whopping $96 million total domestic.
That's a great one for a DC movie. That's great.
Yeah.
And for October.
And R-rated.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It did 258 million worldwide. So it's a hit for sure. It's definitely a success story.
Yeah, we'll get to 300 million though after all said and done.
Yeah, I mean that makes me wonder.
I think it's going to take a drop.
It's definitely going to take a bit of a dip, especially because there's, like I said, there's a lot of controversy as far as like some people love it, some people hate it, and we'll see where it ultimately lands. But. And then we can continue talking about it with the review because I'll let you in on my thoughts, my feelings, some of the highlights.
You just tell me everything because I
will spill the beans.
I was interested, but I just something really has to wow me right now because time is precious for me. So I'm not going to take my time out of my life to go see a movie if it ain't going to wow me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't
have all that free time like you do, John.
This is true, but I've earned it.
I'm not gonna lie, you have earned it. But I'm in the.
You're in the throes of it, man.
I am in the throes of it. I am in I'm in the storm. I'm in the middle. There's no calm in the middle right now.
No,
it's not like a hurricane where in the middle of the storm it's calm. It's not like that right now. I'm fucking got no time for shit.
I hear you, man.
I can't even jerk off. I have no time to jerk off.
I'm glad you're here.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Shit.
I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, you and Jamie are 10 and 8 years younger than me. And so I'm that much further ahead. My kids are 10 and 8 years older than your kids. And that when obviously I was...
Hold on 1 second. I just wanted to do that.
Lawson's goodness. That's good. But when I was totally stoked for you when you and Shan had the boys and everything, and then of course Jamie's got his little guys and girl, and I'd be lying if I didn't think this is going to be a trying and challenging time to keep the show going on. But you're here, man. You're here, and Jamie's here. He's in the thick of it.
Well,
not right now, but
it's about making things a priority. I mean, I told Shannon when we were having twins. Actually, she told me, she goes, don't worry, we'll still make time for the podcast. And it's been a fight because now when you're in the thick of it, she said that before, but now it's just like there's some nights you're just so burnt, and you know what I mean? It's just
reality sets in.
It does, but you try to make things a priority that you care about. I don't consider this just genuinely a hobby. I hope it goes somewhere someday.
Sure.
If I can, I wish I can contribute even more. Sometimes I feel like you're always thinking up things, putting together, platforms, and I wish I could contribute more. I just don't have the time to get through it all. So I figured until I get through this stage, which I figure I probably have another year of this, where then some normalcy, if I said that right, comes to effect in my life, then it'll be a little more easier for me to manage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm happy to do everything that I do for the show. I think it's a passion for all of us. Mm-hmm. I think that we do manage, a lot of, we're spinning a lot of plays. You guys are spinning way more than I am because you have little people that are so dependent on you. I mean, my boys are 13 and 14. Our conversations, that's just it. We have conversations about bigger things and probably more impactful things in their lives, but they're conversations, You know
what I had a conversation with my daughter tonight about?
What?
Not pushing and smacking my son, her brothers in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, this goes on. This has been going on for weeks with her, and it's like, why do you do this?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a bad girl. Well, then bad girls hit their brothers. I want to be a good girl. Well, be a good girl. Me and Shannon, it's just, you just can't get it through her in her head.
No. And there's a knot you got to unravel, right? I mean,
I know she's jealous.
Of course.
And I know it's just attention.
Yeah.
And we know it in our head, but it's when your bodies are worn down, you're exhausted. It's just, you're 4, go away.
Yeah.
And you love her. You want to spend time with her, but
That's
all I got to say. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what. I mean, I never thought I'd be the guy that said I said so, but I've said it a lot. There's been times when it's like I get embroiled in this debate with my kids, and I'm like, "What the? Wait a minute! I'm the parent.
Oh yeah,
go to your room, or I'm the parent. Who are you talking to?"
So
it's
funny
like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I catch myself getting caught because I feel like I'm being outsmarted, and sometimes I literally am. And then I'm like, I go and turn around, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is not an argument. This is not a debate. It's not a discussion. It's the way it is. Now the discussion's over.
Right.
Get out of here.
Well, I think it comes down to we didn't want to be like our parents.
Of course.
My parents were like, do this. And as soon as you said what, I don't want to hear what, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. Mm-hmm. But it comes to a point, like I deal with Aiden. Me and Shannon were just, it's funny that you bring this up. We just had this conversation a week ago about just, because before we would always say, we need you to do this. Why? It gives like multiple different reasons. Why, tries to prove us wrong on how accurate what we told him to do was. Well, you only told me to walk the dog to the mailbox.
Yeah.
When I didn't really, I'm trying, you only told me to walk the dog. You didn't say how far.
Yes.
Or
how long.
You know what I mean? They
walk him until he takes a shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Or they're just so literal about every little thing to get out of everything.
Yeah.
So finally, one day I come home from work and Aiden's like doing everything that Shannon asks. And I'm like, how'd you get him to do that? She goes, I just didn't give him a chance to rebut me. And I was like, I get it. And that is smart, but that's exactly what our parents did. But I felt that cheapens the relationship.
Yeah, and you're right. And we're lucky, and I think you and Shannon are very similar, where we play good cop, bad cop, meaning that there are times when my patience is not there, and Cindy's there to pick up the slack, and vice versa.
Oh, right? It has to be.
Right? And that's when we get to these little nuances where we're like, all right, what's really going on? And you got to sort of peel back the layers and say, all right, where are you with this? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like we had this... I'm not above motivating my kids through reward. Yeah. I'm not above that at all. And I'm talking about even monetary.
I don't think any parent should be above that. That's just silly.
Like, I got this thing going on with...
Especially because you can't backhand them anymore. So. No, I'm kidding.
You can't tie into a stake in the yard. Just kidding, of course. But we have this ongoing thing with Noah where we're trying to understand, give him... He's all about instant gratification right now. And so we're trying to teach him, delayed gratification, which is really hard, right? Because, to be fair, with the boys... As long as they've shown some type of appreciation and they're not acting like spoiled turds, then we're pretty easygoing when it comes to $5 a year, $10 a year, things like that.
And that's the key, appreciation.
Yes. Like, we don't want spoiled kids for sure.
You don't want entitlement.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, the world doesn't really cater to entitlement once you're out of the nest.
And kids these days, and a lot of them growing up, have that entitlement to them. And it irks me.
Because it's a double-edged sword. Because you want them to have squeeze every juice out of their experience, out of their lives that they can, so they have the most rich, fulfilling, and happy lives.
Right.
But you got to balance that with a lot of little different things, because you can raise an entitled shit if you're not paying attention. And so with the boys, like especially with Noah now, it's like we've basically said, listen, I'll cut a deal with you. All right. You get straight A's because he's going to be in high school next year. And it's a different game once you get to the high school level because it's all about college prep.
I thought you were going to go socially, but college.
Well, socially, it's vastly different.
Well, I think high school is actually different. It's better socially because then you start finding the groups that you tend to be around. In junior high or middle school, whatever they call it, everybody's everybody. There's no cliques. There's either popular or not popular. End of story.
Yeah.
In high school, there's more cliques. Yes, there's still popular cliques, but there's phases to, you get the vibe that people start respecting every different clique to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a group of people, they're classified as nerds, but there's 10 of them. So you're not, you know what I mean? You're not
did you see 22 Jump Street?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 21 Jump Street.
I saw both of them. Aiden loves them both.
Did you see, you had Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah, I love Jonah Hill. I love them both, actually.
Tatum, it is great because he was popular jock guy. And he thought bullying and all that stuff and everything, but times were changed. He made that comment like, "What are you, gay?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, so," and he thought like they were doing one strap, two straps. One strap is cool, two strap is not. And I think that when we look at high school and middle school with our kids,
it's different now.
It is different.
Totally. Well, I was just talking to someone about this the other day. It's like when I was growing up, there was a kid 2 years older than me that wanted to go to the senior prom with a boy.
Oh my God!
Absolutely not. You're
talking about 90s, right?
Yeah, this is 96, I believe.
Yeah,
and they X that out. The kid was made fun of. This whole thing. Nowadays, it's probably commonplace. It's like, all right, who you bringing?
Well, the bully is the one that gets ostracized.
Oh yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
In this society, it shouldn't bullying. That's why I don't want to go here, but that's why who we have in office is surprising.
Yeah, well, it fucks people up, not just in high school for the duration of high school. It can really set the course for the rest of their lives because that's why they call it the formative years.
It is. I mean, I was in junior high. I was bullied. Not senior high. I kind of came into my own, and I was fine.
Sure,
but I was a little unaware.
Yeah,
going into junior high of what to expect, and I got stuck in a bunch of classes that didn't have any of my friends.
Yeah,
so I didn't know anybody in any kind of aspect. So I got put to the side. And when even if you're the biggest guy in the room or the smallest guy in the room, it doesn't really matter. If you're the lone wolf, out of 20 some people, it doesn't matter how big you are. You know what I mean? You're still going to feel like an outcast.
Yeah, and you know what? If you have somebody that you make a connection with at that time, and if you're fortunate enough to become friends with them, then that's a gesture that you'll remember for the rest of your life. If you're fortunate enough for that to happen, but if it doesn't, then it can really
set you back.
Yeah, exactly.
It did. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, to a degree, it still affects my personality because, I kind of, I'm a little sensitive about certain topics. So I kind of jump on things a little faster than I say I should because of those situations back in the day. And I know it. I try to reel it in.
Sure. Is it mostly because of your wooden leg hump on your back and your connecting eyebrow?
Well, that was that. How did you know about that? Talk to my wife too much, John.
Well, I'm glad you got the work done because you look fantastic.
I don't want to get too real, but hey, high school and all that. There's a lot of different demographics and how things change from middle school to high school with kids.
Sure.
And you're right. To your point, it's just. We don't want to be like our parents, but at some point you just got to cut it off and stop trying to explain everything to the kids and just say, just go do it.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally. And thank you for bringing us back.
Yeah. Because we were getting out there.
Yeah, we were. It was a totally different show. Maybe it's another show. Who knows?
Yeah, we got a couple lined up. Yes, if Jamie was here, we'd be doing something else today.
And Raising Your Kids Right by Nick and Jon.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to us. Trust me.
No. All right, so back to the box office. Real quick though. So speaking of R-rated superhero movies, Logan did $619 million. So that Joker has that to
Is Logan the highest? I thought it was Deadpool.
Oh, that's a good point. But I feel like Logan was more along the serious side.
But Logan's better.
Yeah.
That's why you thought of Logan first. I'm just talking about overall money.
Yeah.
Deadpool would appeal more to the younger crowd that, are borderline age appropriate.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would be fine with.
Is that what Logan did nationally, or
that's globally? Yeah,
I think Deadpool did more.
Probably. I think you're right. I'll take a look. But
we don't need to know now. I just whatever. Both rated R. Rated R is actually with superhero movies are stepping up the game, and I personally think you're going to see a lot more of them.
You should.
And I can't wait for the MCU to finally bring out one of their own. And they will.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, well, let's go through the box office. So Joker.
Let's move on. Yeah.
Joker did $96 million. It toppled Abominable, big time. Abominable did it took a 42% dip.
So it doubled it.
Yeah. It basically doubled it. And so, that was number 2 in the box office with $11 million, almost $12 million. Downton Abbey is still in the top 5.
Again, a show I'm going to watch someday.
One of these days. When we get a little bit more sophisticated and we have some time.
That's never going to happen. No. Real quick about Downton Abbey. It's all about the 18... It's based in the 1900s?
I couldn't tell you. I think it is the 1900s.
But it's all about the servants for this household.
Yes.
This manor or whatever in England or Ireland or whatever.
England.
Yeah. And it's all based about what the servants, their interaction between them and the owners, the madam and man.
Yeah. Well, this is how ignorant I am. I always thought it was Downtown Abbey, not Downton.
At least I didn't think that.
I just thought it was a British pronunciation. I'm such a dope. All right, so 4th in the box office is Jennifer Lopez's big hit, Hustlers. It did $6 million at the box office.
She's so hot, but she's one of those girls you just want to fuck hard and leave.
Jesus, Nicholas.
No, seriously, she just looks like such a bitch.
Yes, and it's one of those things where, and I wanted to talk about this.
When you were single, there was those hot girls, like super hot girls that were slutty, like hot bitches that you knew. I never want a relationship with this. I just want to slam it and leave it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with Jennifer Lopez. It's like, she is talented, yes, but she was a backup dancer at one point.
There are a dime a dozen in Hollywood that are as talented as her. It's all about catching that break.
Yes, she caught a killer break, and again, but is she the best dancer? No. Is she the best singer? No.
What was her claim to fame?
Is she the hottest on the planet? No.
Was Puffy I mean, she was starting on the rise, but she was really low. But then she dated Puffy because Puffy was her producer or whatever.
I believe so.
You know,
but she broke out after. You're right. She broke out after In Living Color.
Right, I know, but she got a deal. But was she got a deal with Puffy?
I think it was Puffy.
And then he started dating her.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I mean, it's all about, like, I'm not saying she's not talented. There's millions of people that are super talented. They go to Hollywood, and there's millions that do that aren't. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that have great voices. There's a lot of people that can dance. There's a lot of people that can do both. There's some people that can even do all three and act. You know, but it doesn't mean they're going to make it. They just have to find the right role, the right song, the right dance partner.
They need the right team behind them.
They do. You know what I mean? Or just luck. Or just flat.
Yeah.
But most of the actors, they always talk about back in the day when they waited tables, they barely had nothing to their fucking
And they're
name.
still humble.
And they're still humble. I mean, Rey from Star Wars, she was a fucking waitress before she got the call.
Yeah.
And that was her first acting gig.
Yeah.
So it's like... It's like anything else. I mean, the people are still humble. She's not, though.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? Like, and who knows? I don't know her personally.
But all the rumors you hear, she's tough to work with, bitchy, you know, all that.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's like, I want to make this distinction. Like, you can be an empowered, strong-minded woman who knows what she wants and gets hers, meaning like finance, deals, things like that, and still maintain a reputation for being easy to work with, kind, have humility, and has that type of reputation.
Meryl Streep,
Taylor Swift,
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, they're
across
all
the board,
rock stars.
You know, Lady Gaga supposedly like that too.
Yeah, I mean, just that's the reputation she has, and
I heard Beyonce's a bitch too.
Yeah, but, and again, she's Beyonce's queen bee, right? And so it's like you are on top of the hill, right? It doesn't mean you need to be difficult to work with. You know, granted, a lot of people are probably trying to take advantage of them 10 ways to Sunday on a daily basis, or just trying to leech some of that fame, some of that success, whatever. But how do you get to a place where your reputation becomes that way?
Well,
that's almost a whole nother podcast.
I got one little story for you, though. I only say this because first-hand knowledge. My mom, long time ago, was a Wawa assistant manager. This was 30, 40 years ago. And it was in the 80s. Was when Mike Schmidt was at the height of his fame.
Perfect example.
It's a great example. And she had a Wawa that was either right by their facility or right by where he lived. I couldn't remember which one she was in. And a little kid came in. He came in, and a little kid ran up to him and said, "Oh, can you sign my autograph?" Because I said, "Kid, get the hell out of my face."
Yeah, there's so many of those stories about Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt. And it's not like you hear most people, like, I tend to believe these things about famous people because you also hear them the other way. Like Tom Hanks, super nice. Yeah. Bill Murray, super nice. So it goes both ways. Yeah. So it's just not fucking hearsay when you hear like a Jennifer Lopez is a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, or even Patrick Stewart's a snob fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And Uber, was it an Uber or taxi or something?
It was a car service. But it's like, yes, you can have a bad day.
You can, but when you hear more stories bad than good,
yeah.
you know it's more about who your personality is.
Yeah, and let's not forget, nobody wants to be that person that's like, oh, well, you don't want to be like, oh, well, you work for me, that type of thing. But, the fans go away. Your lifestyle goes away. Yeah. Your income goes away. Everything goes away. And so you earn that status, reputation, income, empowerment one fan at a time. And that's as quick as you're going to lose it too. If you look, I mean, yes, Jennifer Lopez has this success story associated with Hustlers, but she was doing TV, and not like Game of Thrones, HBO TV. She was doing like primetime TV. She was not getting movie roles. No. She was not selling out concert venues, all kinds of stuff like that, And now she's got a partner with Shakira to do the Super Bowl.
And you know why that is, right, though?
Yeah, that's sex sells.
It's that, and it's Miami. They want to bring in the Latin thing.
Yeah, but that's fine. But she didn't do it on her own. She was Selena.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Miami?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so she's lost, and I don't think
she's not up there. She's not an A-lister anymore by no means.
No,
she's not like turning heads. Like her biggest claim to fame in the last 6 or 7 years is when she went to one of those award shows and she had that outfit that looked like it was like nothing on.
That's exactly
that
right.
Green one or whatever.
And sex will always sell. I mean, if you look at Instagram followers and some of the people that are up there, some of them you're like, how the hell does this person have 3 million followers? And then
she's hot.
Yes.
And she's like, the costume play girls. Oh,
that's what I'm talking about, right? And it's like we talk about that Mexican, the Mexican weather girl, and it's like she's not world renowned for her. She doesn't do the weather better than anybody else.
No, she just works out at the gym with a fucking ass that can.
Yeah, she breaks out that booty, man.
Yeah, damn right.
So and hey, whatever, but let's not kid ourselves. She's not earning it on her talent.
No, her talents are ass.
Yeah. And it fits.
Same with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, that's what. Well,
that's who you were referring to. I thought you were talking about the weather girl, but yeah, I mean, and so.
But at least the weather girl isn't an asshole.
Yeah,
and she's not putting on a front and saying that it's something else.
And that's why I knew her movie was going to not do well.
Well, it actually did. Hustlers is doing well, but she's also she's a stripper in there. So
yeah, she's a stripper, and in fact, it's October. There's fucking nothing to watch.
That's true.
If you put this up in May, would that fucking really do good?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Maybe straight to video.
That's where really the money, wherever the saying, I don't know what the saying is, where the street meets the rubber or whatever.
Rubber meets the road.
Rubber meets the road is, you put it up against the big wigs. The big wigs is May, Christmas time, 4th of July. If you have a great movie and you think you're going to make a ton of money, that's when you put it on there.
Yeah.
You put it on these opposite times of the year is because nobody fucking cares.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the February, March season now. Like you see, that became.
Although it's becoming big now.
That's exactly right.
Oh, okay.
That's because the movies that they're putting out are great, and it's in a lull time, and they're blowing the doors off the box office.
And they also understand it's President's Day weekend, it's other things, Easter weekend, and you're thinking, let's capitalize on this.
Hell yeah!
Let's not put the big name Marvel movie out there. Let's put the A- Marvel movie out there, and we'll see what goes, and we'll still grab $1 billion.
And we might even change our May date just to fuck with people.
Yeah, we'll push it back a week, you fuckers.
That's Marvel.
All right, move on.
All right, moving on. It Chapter 2 is fifth in the box office with $5 million. I'm glad that movie's doing well, even though I keep saying I'm going to go see it. I haven't seen it yet, but
you have the time, dude. You have the time.
I gotta
oh,
take
by
a
the
long
way,
lunch.
I did see that movie you recommended on Netflix. It was
Shadow of the Moon.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. I do want to talk about it with you because I had mixed feelings on it.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to hear about it. I do want to mention something, and I know we usually do 1 through 5, but Judy, I could care less about a Judy Garland movie, but Renee Zellweger is coming back into the fold.
Plastic surgery, Renee Zellweger?
After all her work, which got her she kind of got like Jennifer Grade.
I hated the fact that she did all that.
Yeah.
She was, I remember
adorable.
What was that movie? What was that?
Tom Cruise movie?
No. Well, that was cute. But no, the movie where it was about the radio station and she was in it. What the fuck was it called?
Radio station, Renee Zellweger. Yeah. Who was the lead?
Who else?
That was John Cusack, was it?
No, fucking not John Cusack. This was about a radio station that was going downhill, and it was like a funny fucking movie. If I said it, you would know it. It had Liv Tyler in it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Was it a record store?
Yes, record store. That's it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She was in it. She had that like cute, innocent
something records.
She had that cute, innocent, like slutty. I loved it, dude. I loved it.
She is,
and yes, Jerry Maguire was probably the height of her fame, and I loved her for that too.
Yeah. And that and the one where Bridget Jones. Yeah, Bridget Jones' Diaries.
Yeah,
that was a big one.
I think she's one of those people that didn't need to do much work to her, and she got bad advice from some plastic surgery surgeon, and she went overboard.
Well, Jennifer Grey, remember Dirty Dancing?
Oh yeah,
got her nose fixed, and it killed her. They were like, dude, that's your look. That's separated. Now you look like everybody else.
But I heard that she also was never really comfortable with fame.
Oh, interesting.
I heard she had like a real hard time with it.
And God, you couldn't get more famous after Dirty Dancing.
I know. It's propelled Patrick Swayze to what he became.
Yeah, because that led to Ghost and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah, well, Point Break is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah. Top 10 for me. The original Point Break.
We could do a tribute show just on Patrick Swayze.
Dude. Point Break,
give it
Roadhouse. I mean, I'm not gay, but goddamn, I love that guy during the fucking 80s.
Hell yeah, man.
Late 80s, early 90s, man. And he could act. I think he was highly underrated as an actor.
Yeah. I mean, I remember what a phenomenon Ghost was, and then going and seeing it in the theater. And you go back, and there's, some of the stuff doesn't hold up special effects wise.
Well, of course not. It's
but
20
the
years, 30 years.
Performances are solid.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg's still phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even Demi Moore was her sequences where she shed the tears. It was really good.
Nobody cries better.
Even the bad guy, I forget his name. He's been in a ton of stuff. He's like that B actor that's good.
Yes.
He was fantastic. He played the president in that show. What the fuck is that show with the black girl?
Scandal.
Yes.
I love when our memory works.
We'll put it together eventually. Guillermo del Toro.
All right, moving on to the news. Not much in way of news.
I do have something for news.
Fire away.
The Tom Holland thing. There was about the Disney, about how he sent an email to Bob Iger about got his phone number, went out of the way. And I'm sure this is just Bob flipping a little thing to him. Like, I don't think it was Tom really that set this stuff in motion. I think it was all business. But it's nice to hear
a nice story.
It's a nice story, but I'm sure it was all business. At the end of the day,
the dogs agree with you, man.
Exactly,
by the way,
exactly. But it's a nice story that Big Bob gave him a little credit.
Surprised he picked up a phone. Think about it.
I don't think he did. I think he just wrote him a nice email.
Yeah, I think the one that you're probably right, but the fact that he got through and it was addressed. I mean, he's he's the head honcho over a global monster, not maybe monster, but
Big Bob's been in the news a lot lately about his opinions and stuff like that. He talked about what George Lucas said to him on what he thought about the Force Awakens, and Big Bob is laying it out there, man. I guess he's strutting his balls, dude, a little bit. Big balls, dude.
I did see a run, something. I think it was on Instagram or something like that, but it might have been. It's probably just a goof. Basically saying, should he run for president?
No.
I was like, dude, you have way more power being the head of Disney than you do over the president than the president has. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna the stuff that I have in the news isn't so much. So I'm just gonna shift gears and I'm gonna go to what we're what we're watching.
Let's talk about that moon thing.
Go for okay. So
what's it called again?
Shadow of the Moon.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I just watched it the other day and I kind of had a feel in the beginning. It was like it was cool. It grabbed me. I admit it did. I love the premise.
Yeah,
but the whole
it starts off with it opens with 2024,
which was interesting.
Yes.
I wish they would have dove a little bit more into that. What the event why the event caused so much problems for the future.
Sure,
because it seemed like, not saying a terrorist event is not a big deal, but it didn't seem like it was 9/11 terrorist event. It took place in Philadelphia, which always is cool because our hometown. It was
such a hook for me, man.
Yeah, it was hometown. But I had real problems with the how they handled the time travel thing.
So I'd like to. All right, so let me hear where you're coming from as far as the problem with the time travel.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm stuck on the whole Endgame thing.
In the Shadow of the Moon.
Maybe I'm stuck on. Maybe I'm stuck on how the Endgame clarified it because it makes more sense logically. Now, I'm not a theoretical physicist. I can't say it. Physicist. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not obviously that bright because I can't speak words. But
you correct me on Guillermo del Toro, and I'll help you out with the words.
Yeah, right. It's just sometimes I get tongue tied when I want to. I have thoughts in my head. But I just felt like she was going back every 9 years because something to do with a new moon or full moon or blue moon. Something to do with that. It had something. They never dove exactly why that was.
They don't really go into the science.
They don't go into the science, and I have a problem with that. And I also have a problem with, it brings up the whole what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Brain fart.
With time travel movie?
Yeah, where the Terminator.
Oh yeah.
It brings up the whole paradox of the Terminator. Like I just. Because if she never went back in time, she never would have created him to do what he did to push him to where he became the guy that made her go back in time in the first place.
Yeah. It gets there. The plot holes are
a paradox.
Yeah, there's one of those things. That's why I like. Some aspects of if you go back and you change, you create a whole nother branch in time.
That makes more sense to me logically. Again, I am not a scientist. I'm not a theoretical physicist. Got it.
Very good.
I watch enough Big Bang. You think I get that shit out. But I'm not those things. But it just makes more sense to me than the Back to the Future aspect that our colleague here likes so much.
Yeah.
That you go back in time and you change the future, and when you go back and forward in time, it's all fucking changed again. I just don't buy that because it makes no sense. Now, if you go back in time and you change something, you change it to an alternate reality.
Yes.
Because you change it, you split it.
That makes sense to me.
It's like a pebble, a rock in the middle of a river. You take the rock out, it keeps going, but you throw a rock in, it splits it off, right?
Yes.
To two different lines. Yeah.
That makes sense to me, and you're right. It's almost like whenever there's time travel involved, you just got to hang up your spurs and be like, "All right, I'm just gonna suspend my disbelief."
And that's what I did,
and I'm gonna see what I can do about putting somewhat blinders on and just enjoying this for what it is. I did like the Philadelphia aspect. I was looking for little mistakes in the chinks in the armor.
So was I.
Like Shazam fucked up a couple times, man.
I didn't see Shazam yet.
Yeah, Shazam fucked up a couple times because there's no way there'd be taquitos in a corner store in Philadelphia. I was like, that's LA. Don't even try it. But I thought the premise was interesting. I thought it was a little predictable with the whole. We're going to spoil some shit. So with the whole. This is the villain that is a serial killer, time-traveling serial killer that has this device that injects a material and dissolves people's brains. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think it needed to be that sophisticated.
No, I didn't either.
I thought it could have been just, all right, well, I'm going to kill this fucker.
Why do you got to melt their fucking brains?
Yeah.
And why do you got to kill all those, every 9 years, kill a bunch of different people? Why not just go back to...
Well, the 9 years was because of the lunar alignment shit.
I guess you have to jump. Why doesn't she have to jump, kill people, jump, kill? Why don't she just jump, wait till the next jump, get to the point where that guy's writing on a typewriter in the 60s or whatever the fuck he started writing, and kill him then, because that was the main guy that started everything. That didn't make sense to me. Why they had to kill all? I mean, just to add stuff to the. I mean, there were so many plot holes in this fucking movie.
Yeah,
it was a good premise.
Yeah,
but there were so many plot holes.
I thought it was good premise.
And I didn't like how they made him like a fucking fucked up dad.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. That rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Like I would have been like, no, I'm not going to sacrifice, essentially 20 years of 27 years of my kid's future to pursue something that could be. But
it was weird that the girl said that she knew shit about. I knew she was a time traveler right before she dove off the fucking thing. She started talking about, she goes, I said, sorry about your partner.
Exactly.
First I thought about the broken leg, but then she blew his fucking head off.
Yeah.
But then she's like, I know
that surprised me.
Yeah, it surprised me too. So, the only thing that really did. But,
killed his partner.
Yeah.
Who had really bad tube, like hairpiece in the beginning.
Did he?
Like you could literally see the flap in the back. Because he's a black guy, right? So they had to have him with hair because the actor's bald in real life. So they gave him tight cut hair when he was a beat cop back in 1988.
Yeah.
And then, but if you turn his head, I was like, you just peel that shit forward, man. That come right off. But anyway, I think they did do some good things with filling some of the plot points or logic holes, which were like, if he knew he had something, he knew he could, the main character, he knew he could solve, if he caught this person, killed this person, then it would fix all the wrongs that he did by neglecting his kid. Okay. Like, he would be a good dad. He would be all those things. He wouldn't have been, you know.
It would give him,
it was a redo.
Yeah, but it would give him, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now.
But it would change everything. It would like reset. Like if she killed him, then she would have never existed. He would have never been late.
Give him purpose. The whole purpose of it all.
Yes.
It would have been worth it at the end. The fact that he did what he did to neglect, like you said, neglect his kid and all that. Yeah. I thought it was a clever little kid. I did realize before it happened that was his granddaughter, but I didn't realize it till I was a little upset. I should have realized it earlier. Yeah.
I can't remember when it really triggered for me, but it wasn't an overwhelming surprise when it
wasn't overwhelming, but I was like, I should have known this before this.
Yeah. I thought the performances were great.
The acting was good. The acting was solid by everybody across the board. I just thought they kind of went through the time travel's tricky in a movie, and I thought they really cheaped it up a little bit.
Yeah. It was a little loose on the time travel thing.
It was because I don't like paradoxes. I don't like a movie that creates a time, because it's like, what happened, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
It's really what comes down to it, because if she never went back in time, he would have never been obsessed. Even if he lost his wife that day, he still wouldn't have been obsessed. He would have been devastated by his wife, but he would have never went on that little, especially if she never showed up the second time.
Yeah.
He would have never went the other way.
And he should have just swarmed around his kid.
How fucking right he should have.
But the thing is, it's like sci-fi.
I don't know why.
You triggered Siri.
Yeah, I guess.
But entertaining, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed I watched it. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Wanted a little bit more.
I did. I thought there was going to be more. And it was him that killed everybody at the end, right? He was the old man pushing the buttons.
Oh, shit.
You didn't see that at the end? Because remember when the professor was killing the pigs in the office in the barn, he was pushing the buttons? Then you see him at that computer station as an old man pushing buttons, and then they showed the guy at the fryer dying, and then the guy at the orchestra dying. No
shit, I missed that.
You didn't put that together, did you?
No. You got me again, man.
I pick up on little things.
No, I mean, do I recommend it? If you don't have anything else to watch.
It's not horrible.
It's the Philadelphia thing that really sucked me in, to be honest. It's a dirty trick.
And you wonder why Netflix doesn't promote it? Because let's be honest, it wasn't like, oh my God, let's promote this.
Nah, it's not earth-shattering.
No, it's not.
Netflix doesn't really do a whole lot on promotion.
They do. They've done a couple. Bright was promoted.
Stranger Things
is promoted. Stranger Things 4 trailers already dropped.
Oh, I haven't seen. Oh, yeah.
It's just like kind of one of 4. You know what I mean? It does the Stranger Things little, outline, and then the 4 pops up. But
no actual footage.
Nothing really.
That's an easy one.
But it is. They did say something that it's not going to take place in that town.
Yeah, because it's something about the chief's in Russia, right?
Supposedly that's the chief. They didn't say it was.
Oh shit!
We all think it probably is the chief.
So, all right. Well, I'm glad you watched it, just because I like to chit chat about it, and I think it's it dives into all the stuff that we love. Time travel.
We do. It's
futuristic sci-fi type shit.
Let's put it this way: don't rush out to go watch it. But if you have some time to kill and you're done jerking off, take a look.
Or in between,
or done playing with yourself because you might be a woman.
That's true. We are equal opportunists when it comes to masturbation.
Exactly. I don't hold grudges.
So let's get into something. Light on the news, but I want to get into something that we didn't cover that you tipped me off to, which is the new and latest and greatest Picard trailer.
That's right. And it was good. It almost makes me want to get this, but I have the argument. I can't sit there and I can't get it. Just put it that way.
So much nostalgic goodness.
It is. It's awesome.
We talked about our favorite. We did a whole Star Trek episode many episodes ago. Please go back and see it.
Although, did you see Data? It was.
I think they tried the de-aging thing, but they're a little cheap.
I was like, I didn't like it. I mean, I'd much rather them just go with. I guess if he's dreaming about Data, you got to go that way.
Yes.
But if they create a new Data, let him fucking grow old. Let him just say fuck it. It's like he just wanted to look older, look his age. He doesn't have to be that. Like, he could be whatever age he wants, but he's always tried to be human. So
now, I'm sure if the guys that have created all those movies, series and movies, if they would have went through with grafting skin on Data, then Brent Spiner would have got some more longevity.
I really want to know with how
old Brent Spiner is.
He's like 80,
70.
That's close.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart is in his 80s.
Yeah. I really want to know how much money CBS threw at these guys.
Oh, shit. Man.
Because this is the only thing they got going for them.
Yeah.
They got Star Trek. That's it.
Yes.
For this fucking streaming service.
Nobody's watching Blue Bloods or whatever the hell else is out there.
They don't fucking care. Big Bang's off the air. They don't give a fuck about that either. They
just sold Big Bang.
Well, I was going to say, they don't even own the rights to Big Bang.
Yeah.
They didn't even own the rights.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't even own the rights.
Yeah.
They just owned the rights to show it. Damn. It was TBS that owned the fucking rights.
No shit.
Yeah.
So they got them in syndication.
You see, TBS has it in syndication. Wow. TBS has it in the syndication for the next couple of years. Then it's going to go to whatever. Anyway,
somebody at CBS is going to be like, "Well, we kind of fucked up."
Yeah, right. That's all they have is Star Trek right now.
Yeah.
So they had to go to Patrick Stewart, even though he's fucking 88 years old, 85 years old. And like, can you take a medical exam? Yeah. Why?
They're like, we're just going to scan your body as much as possible so we can CG as much as possible. Because we can't have you jumping across chasms and fighting, Borg.
But they show him fighting.
I know. That can't be him.
Oh, it looks like it's him. It doesn't look good at all. And now I'm a Next Generation fan. It's my all-time favorite Star Trek show.
He's your captain.
Oh, fuck, right. well, wait a second. He's my captain as the shows go. Movies, yeah. I'm still going with Kirk.
Yeah. I hear you, brother.
Movies, Kirk. Shows, Picard.
Yeah.
Other way around for,
Yeah. Kirk, not so much on the shows. But
no, but yeah. But anyway, it looks great, but I'm
excited, dude.
I am. I'm skeptical.
I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous because it's like we don't want to see our heroes get old.
And I don't want to hear them do it in the wrong way. Like, I'm so skeptical because I don't want to name the movie that shall not be named.
Yes.
And what they did to our one of our biggest heroes.
I don't think they are, dude, because Discovery's good. It's good. For a Star Trek series, it's fucking good. You got to put it in the context. These things are cinematic.
Well, there is news on Discovery. The next season's supposed to take place 900 years in the future or some shit like that.
Oh, because they did a time jump.
I don't know. That's going to be good.
I'm with you. The only thing that I don't like about Discovery is how they're doing the Klingons.
Yeah, it's just cheesy. I didn't like how JJ did them. It's the only thing I had to knock on any of JJ's Star Trek movies, and I love both of them. Mm-hmm. Klingons were always a big thing for me. Yeah. I always liked how they portrayed them in the Next Generation. I thought it was perfect. And the fact that you make them totally brute animals, unsophisticated, it just cheapens who they really were.
I like when they quote Shakespeare.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
It's brilliant.
It showed them have a genuine side, but also they're militaristic, animalistic. They have all that nature, but they also there had to be a reason why they became powerful.
Of course. They're not just savage.
They couldn't just be savages and took over somebody's starship that landed on their planet and all of a sudden became fucking warp engineers and all that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're a great dichotomy. They're sophisticated, intelligent, but also barbaric in their rituals. But that's just about their.
You know what really brought them together for me? Worf.
Yeah, great character.
Worf really did, because it showed the side of Klingons that they just weren't barbaric. He has emotions. They have evolved. And there also was a side to Worf that was kind of genuine. You know what I mean? And then they actually cared about the society that they grew up in. I love the character Worf. I didn't like him in the beginning, but as they grew the later years of Next Generation, he became one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I agree. And what was it? Was it, and I just looked it up, but I didn't look into it. Was it Undiscovered Country where there was
Kirk and all them?
There was the attack on the Klingon vessel.
Yeah.
You saw the blood floating in the air and everything.
Yeah,
like
Kirk's Worf's father. Was it his father or grandfather? His father.
Yeah,
was there.
That was badass, man.
It was awesome, man.
But that's a great depiction of the Klingons.
Yes, it was perfect and they had what's his face playing the general. Oh God, I can't remember.
I know who you're talking about.
He's a great actor, man. That is a great movie.
Yeah, he's classic.
I mean, everybody might say Wrath of Khan is my favorite, but that's probably my second favorite of the six of them.
It's one that you guys reminded me was good.
You forgot about it.
I did.
I think you went the Next Generation.
Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, I think you went Next Generation, the second one over that one.
Yeah, that one. Then you guys mentioned it, and it surprised me. That's
good. My second favorite. Then the First Contact, Next Generation is my third.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, back to the trailer though. I mean, when it opens up and Data's painting, and it's some type of dream sequence.
Oh, it's a total dream sequence. And I like how they show his old farm, his parents'
his winery,
villa that he took over after his brother died.
The Picard label.
Yeah, and he just, I like how they open that up, and I like how they talk about how he felt like something's missing.
Yep.
Then he gets a visitor from some girl, and I guess it's a wrong that he did.
They suspect that she's part of the Borg.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's something that I thought the Deep Space Nine destroyed the Borg.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's manifested itself in some other sophisticated way.
True.
I mean, because they have Jerry Ryan in it, who's a 7 of 9, right?
Speaking of warp things, you popped me up in this. I have on Flipboard, I have space, and they actually gave a model of a video of how fast it would take from each individual warp to leave our solar system.
Oh, that's awesome.
From the sun out.
Yeah. So you should not go see Ad Astra then, because the science would piss you off.
Wow. Well, the science in this was cool. I don't remember exactly how many, but I think if you were like warp 2 from the sun to Pluto would be a week or something like that.
At what warp?
Warp 2. But at warp 9, it would be like 3 seconds.
That's awesome, man.
It's something like that graphic.
That's so cool.
You know what I mean? It's like, because like you always wonder when you're watching the shows, they're like, set course for Vulcan, warp 5. And you're thinking, all right, they're there. Like in the episode, they get there. You're like, oh, that's cool. But you don't really realize the science behind it, because warp drive is actually scientific possibility.
Yeah.
And they actually, the NASA put something out there that, they were showing how long it would take to leave the solar system under certain different warp speeds.
Yeah. Dude, do you realize if you and I were in 7th grade and we had this same exact conversation,
I'd be getting my head kicked in right now. I'd be in the fucking locker.
Yeah. So, Nick, did you see Star Trek last night? Yo, come on. Did you see the graph of what warp propulsion would do? Hey, Nick, Jon. I'll meet you in your lockers in about 20 minutes.
No, thank you. I'll be in there already.
Yeah, I'll give myself a wedgie if you don't mind.
Yeah, but the trailer was great.
Yeah, Riker and Troy reunion. Riker looks a little...
He looks like he's been hanging out at the bar a lot.
Yeah, it looks like he's enjoying himself.
He's a 9 o'clock happy hour kind of guy. In the morning, not at night.
He has no problem with steak and eggs every morning.
Yeah, nothing at all.
You said something funny.
Well, I was going to say, which begs the question about the future, man. Seriously. Like, I mean...
Obviously, you don't have Lipitor and cool sculpting in the future.
No. Well, they also don't have a thing for
Male-pattern baldness
in the future either. So,
well, we're supposed to be above that, Nicholas.
Apparently.
Not me, man. I would want a full head of luxurious
Your
locks.
wife doesn't agree with you there.
I know. She likes bald men. She's just waiting for all this head
just
of hair
shave it, dude. Let it go, John.
I'm in denial, man.
Go like Steve on Preston and Steve. He just
got to clean it up.
He just said, "Fuck it."
All right, so we saw that as far as trailers, and then let's polish this off. Oh wait, let's get back to one of the things that we're watching is it was season 10, episode 1 premiered this Sunday past of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't overwhelming, but it was good.
Surprised you that it started out with the space scene with satellite orbiting Earth?
It did.
Me too.
It did.
Where are you going?
They caught my eye there. It's a Russian too. That's like 20 years, 30 years from now. So
yeah. But it made you think like, hey, shit's going to start falling out of the sky because nobody's paying attention. You know what I mean? So
there's more space junk up there than anything else.
Dude, have you ever seen those maps?
Oh, I seen them, dude.
It looks ridiculous. God bless. Don't have an aneurysm or blow out your eardrums. But surprising that I'm still in. Obviously, I watched the episode, seeing where they're going. It is a lot of the same.
Yeah, and that's what I worry about.
You know, Michonne's obviously leading the pack. We don't have Rick. We don't have, supposedly Maggie's coming back.
And I told you right now, hear it out.
Yeah.
I'm saying it right on the show. What's the date today? The 8th?
Today's the 8th.
October 8th, 2019. Rick will be back by the end of the season. I don't know any facts on that. I'm just a feeling that they think they're going to do, blow our minds. Because they have to do something. Because it's getting really kind of stagnant, like what you were probably alluding to.
Yeah, they have to change it up a little bit. I mean, obviously, Alpha and the Whispers, Whispers.
It's cool, but it's the same old shit. What I mean?
They're the new Negan and, his crew and all that stuff.
And I know Negan's going to be like, at some point, step up and take charge of and go after Alpha, and he's going to help out.
He's still slimy.
I don't think you're ever going to get that away from Negan. I think that's who he was in real life, but I don't think he was always that bad. I think he's one of those guys that he's a slimy guy, but he's not a bad guy deep down. I think he just got stuck in a situation where whatever happened at the sanctuary before Rick and all them showed up a long time ago, he stepped up and just said, fuck it, you're all going to listen to me because it was a shit show. And then to keep power, he had to, power corrupts. He got corrupted by his own power. And then by Rick doing what he did, humbled him back to what he was before. But he was always a bit slimy, but I don't think he was a bad guy when you got deep down to it. I think when he got all that power and he had to keep the power and keep people afraid of him, I think Negan just had to show everybody that this is be afraid of me. I'm Negan.
And this is how it works.
And he has to contradict everything he says and not contradict, but make a show of it.
Yeah, well, he was like, this is how it works, and it works, and fear works, and the ultimate Iron Hand works because he was convinced that he was doing it to save everybody's life.
And I think in the beginning, that's what it was. I think he did step up to save everybody's life because he saw the sanctuary, because they made comments about what it was before. And it was even 10 times worse than what it was before he took power.
Yeah.
But then he had to keep power. So it's just one of those things where he started justifying the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
So
and that was his norm was, that was order.
Yes.
In his book.
And he felt like, if I'm keeping order, even though I'm taking from all these people and hurting all these people, I'm saving lives by doing it, because these people, if everybody left to their own devices, they're going to be nothing. There's not going to be anything left.
Exactly.
So he started justifying that to himself internally. And then he never thought there could be anything different. And then when Rick and them did what they did, and he's been in prison so many years and seeing that these people are surviving a different way, I think it's humbled him.
Yeah, I agree. And he's not... You're right. They showed him a different way. It didn't have to be ultimately what he created. It could be this, too.
And that's why I think he was genuinely a decent person at heart. I think he just went down a slippery road.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know the comic book's over?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
And
Rick's dead.
Rick died at the last comic book.
Yeah.
Well, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
I never read one of them, so...
Yeah, Rick's dead in the comic. It's not. It's well known. So I'm sorry if I.
The only thing I hope about is when they finally do come to an end, or hopefully soon, is they hint to a better a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, like the dead.
Or just say fuck it, everybody just fucking dies. Something.
Yeah.
Don't have it just keep going along the same. Because that's just stupid.
Society, and I think that's what they hinted at the comic book, which is like the society is about to adjust into a new norm, and the new norm is going to be where society survives. Humanity survives. It survives with this new norm, knowing that it's going to continue to grow, and it's not going to be where
lawlessness.
Well, and lawlessness and humanity being the minority against the dead.
Well, eventually that has to shift anyway, though.
Yeah.
You would think that would have to shift anyway because the dead, well, maybe not, but if everybody keeps killing all these dead people, right? Mm-hmm. And people stop having more people, it's going to start balancing out, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually.
You would think, right?
You got to start cleaning house, right? But eventually,
or if you're the last guy standing, just fucking nuke everything. Fuck the dead.
I'm out.
Peace.
I'm gonna take a rocket and maybe hang out in that space station and hope it doesn't drop to the earth.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna continue.
So am I. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. And I know at some point Rick's going to come back. They left that open. They wouldn't have left that open if they wanted. I know they're making movies with him, but they left that nugget out there.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nugget they feel is out there to save the show.
Yeah. Well, they're going to.
And we'll give it a boost, no matter what happens.
Well, and I think that's why, because he's definitely he's absolutely. And you've said this already, Nick. He is slotted, and it's been announced that he's going to do a Walking Dead movie. Yeah. Right now, they can play around with the timeline, right?
Because they have like 10 years. Oh, I don't know how old's the daughter? She's 12 now, I guess. It's like 8 years.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 8 years. So you have 8 years. So if you're bringing out a Walking Dead movie, say January, and you want to bring Rick back in February, you can do that because there's 8 year difference.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Play around with the timeline.
Where it's not going to be too much things that's going to fuck it up.
Yeah, it's kind of like Star Wars with all those little gap times. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can play around with the time in between.
Well, look what Disney does with Marvel MCU. They fucking back and forth, and somehow works. Man, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm totally in.
And they have another show coming out too. So
I didn't hear too much about that, but I
did see the trailer.
I think they should wind all of it down.
I do too.
Yeah, I think they probably should have done it about 1.5 years ago.
It's kind of like, I feel like, well, not like, but maybe not. But I felt like Game of Thrones with these prequels, I'm kind of not interested anymore.
Yeah.
I only bring that up because we're talking about adding shows on to a show that I feel it's I think if Game of Thrones did the right kind of ending it should have done to some aspect, the prequels would be more like people more excited about them.
What do you mean? I thought. Oh yeah. I hear you. If they would have ended on an ultimate high note, then the prequels would have had more juice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have as much juice.
So speaking of great shows with where people are trying to squeeze more juice, are you interested in El Camino at all?
I am actually. It's the movie though, so it's. I look at it like they're not coming with a show about him where I'm going to waste 10 fucking hours. Mm-hmm. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. I'll check it out.
Dude, I got all excited because I follow Bryan Cranston on Instagram.
He's making an appearance. We all fucking know it. They're talking about it on Press and Steve. They were like, somebody flew in on a jet and they're not saying anything. And Steve goes, I wonder who that is. Come on.
But here's the
We're
thing.
not fucking stupid.
No. Well, and here's the thing, like we all have IMDb, right? We all have, that's how Andrew Lincoln's doing. Well, they announced it too. He's doing a Walking Dead movie, but he's not doing anything else. No. So when it comes to brass tacks, these actors that we know and love, and the series that they were tied to, that's easy money.
That is easy. Why would you go away from money? Especially when they're throwing big money at you.
Yeah, man.
Like Andrew Lincoln, dude. To make his own movie, they're probably giving him $10-20 million to make a fucking movie.
You kidding me? Strike while that iron's hot.
And then, if they want him to come back, they're probably going to be like, come back for a season.
Yes.
Here's $30 million.
Yeah.
So what? You're not living in fucking London for a year. For 9 months. For $30 million, I'll fucking live in Antarctica, dude. Let's go. Me? Let's rock.
I moved to California for a lot less than that. All right, moving on. Joker movie.
I want to hear all about this, dude, because I know you and Jamie have been super hyped about it. I just don't feel like, I'm not saying he can't pull it off. I just didn't like the vibe.
So I totally dug the vibe.
I know you did. You were like itching for it.
I love the vibe because it feels like it's taking place in the 80s, right? And it like early 80s.
Which is fine, but I still don't think he should have grew up in Gotham.
Well, you don't know if he actually grew up. So spoilers. I'm gonna review. Nick doesn't give a shit that he gives a shit, but he realizes that your time is finite.
I'm just not gonna fucking see it.
Right. So I'm just gonna tell you about it. So we're gonna spoil some shit when it comes to a Joker movie. First of all, before we jump into the spoilers, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I thought it was definitely worth seeing.
Was it 2 thumbs up or just 1?
I'm gonna say 2 thumbs up.
Really? Was that good for you?
Yeah. It was really
Heath
good.
Ledger good?
No. I don't think there's ever going to be a Heath Ledger good. I don't, and you got to admit though, Heath Ledger was in a Batman movie.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But when you actually watch the movie, is that really a Batman movie or is that a Joker movie with a Batman in it?
Yes, it's a great point, right? Because he did steal the show. I mean,
steal the show. He owned the show.
I agree.
Wholeheartedly.
That's his movie.
It's probably, and this is just me being biased to comic book movies and all this, probably one of the greatest acting performances I've ever seen. And I only say that because what he did transformed that whole outlook of how you perceive the Joker and how you perceive a person that could be a Joker today.
Yes, he reinvented the character.
He totally did. I mean,
cinematically, yeah.
Every way, even comically.
Truth.
I mean, it's just he put a person in. It put the Joker from a comic book perspective, with Jack Nicholson nailed, to an everyday person, a believable everyday person being the Joker.
So take that thought and multiply it by 10, and that's what they did with this Joker.
And see, that's too far over the loop. You can't go that far.
So in a way, if you're going to tell an origin story for the Joker, which, I mean, Bill Finger and Bob Kane and all the creators of Batman and the Joker and everything like that, a lot of credit to Bill Finger. They never needed to adopt an origin story, and it played into great storytelling because it made the Joker this unpredictable character, this madman. You never knew, because we talked about this before, because if you know so much about him, then you, as the detective, as Batman, you know how to dismantle him and you know how to arrest him and put him in jail.
That's why I thought him being in Gotham wouldn't be good, because Batman is Gotham. I mean, yes. Bruce Wayne, he owns both of them. He owns the day, he owns the night. He knows everything that goes on in Gotham to a certain degree. So for the Joker to grow up in Gotham or even work in Arkham at some point,
which he didn't.
But in the show, in the movie, it looked like he did.
He was a resident.
Oh, he a resident? All right. But anyway, he would be able to figure that out.
So the way that they still...
real quick, did they hint towards Batman in this at all?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. That's the only love I would love it.
Yeah.
They didn't show him, though. They just hinted towards him, right?
Well, because Bruce Wayne was a little boy.
Oh.
So that's how they get around it, right?
Did they run into him, Bruce Wayne?
Yes.
That's cool.
Right?
I'll give you that. That's cool.
Dude, I'm telling you, the last 15 minutes of this movie, the way they ended it was awesome. It was really... And I know there's divided as far as opinions.
So I got to ask this question because the Joker doesn't really come onto the scene in the comics or any other lore in this realm until Batman comes onto the scene. Mm-hmm. So how do they get around that?
Well, they start with Batman, and then the Joker becomes his nemesis, right?
I know that, but I'm talking about it in the movie, the Joker.
So think about it this way: they start with him, and he's got a job, and his name's Arthur Fleck, right? And so he has a job, and his job is a rent-a-clown. He's a rent-a-clown. It's a clown service. Like, you can hire him for kids' parties. You can hire him to show up at a hospital.
Okay.
You can hire him for spin signs like you see in the trailer. And it's just his job. But he is also he's psychotic, right? He's on 7 different medications. He sees a therapist that's been assigned by the state.
So at some point he just cracks and says, "Fuck it, I'm going to be who I am and let it roll."
Well, it is yes, of course, but it's this slow burn that builds up to that, and even when he finally gets to that place, it's the very tip of where he's going as the Joker, right? And so there's an overtone of this civil unrest that really is associated with the disparity between the uber rich and the poor lower middle class. Mm-hmm. And so with all that civil unrest, the Joker, this character Arthur Fleck, he gets his ass handed to him. He's just downtrodden and beaten down over and over again. And the city plays a lot like New York, which I really like. I know in the Christopher Nolan movies, it was all shot in Chicago, and it felt like Chicago.
It was Chicago, pretty much.
Yeah, and this plays a lot like New York in the late 70s and 80s. It is gritty. It is dirty. It is palpable how fucked up the city is. It's like in New York before Rudy Giuliani cleaned up everything. You know, it's like...
Don't give that fucker a plug.
Well, I love how Saturday Night Live is depicting him.
Oh, it's hilarious. He actually had a clown face on. I saw that, but go on.
So they do a lot of justice to the cinematography, to the scene. You know me, I'm a sucker for good visuals.
I know you are.
Totally. And they pay off amazingly so. But they really dip into his psychosis. And they talk about like...
Which they should.
Well, everybody says he's a madman, but it's almost a caricature of madness when they depict him in other films. This is someone who's truly fucked up. Like, really fucked up. Like, if you saw him... Like, he has this condition, and it's a legit condition to where when he gets this anxiety and stress and everything, he has fits of laughter. And as quick as they come, it's almost like a tick, right? It doesn't mean he's laughing. It means it's his brain going, you don't know how to deal with this? Here, do this way. He mimics people's behavior, but the timing is off. He tries to fit in, but he'll never fit in. Gotcha. You know, all that stuff is very disturbing. Mm-hmm. And there is, just when you think this is his backstory, this is his origin story, he's living with his mother loves him, he's got a whole history with his mother. You find out his mother was psychotic, worked for Wayne Industries.
Ooh.
Right? Worked for Wayne Industries, but I can't remember exactly, but I think more on the side of like The Help. you know, and she had a psychotic affection for Bruce Wayne's dad, Thomas Wayne.
Okay.
Right.
She was infatuated with him.
Infatuated with him, wrote letters to him all the time. And in the letter writing, you find out that she's also psychotic, but then was writing letters to Thomas Wayne to say, we had an affair and this is your son, Arthur. But it turns out she was crazy and she adopted Arthur. Arthur was abused by a boyfriend that she had chained to or handcuffed to a radiator. And that's part of where you're like, oh, this is why this person is so fucked up, right? And so now it cuts the tie. You think they're going down the road where you're like, oh my God, Bruce Wayne and the Joker are stepbrothers.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Really.
But no, which means just when you think that they're going for this play on this brotherly bond or brotherly tie, you're like, oh, they just blew that the fuck up, and now his background's a mystery again, which is great because that lends to what I was talking about before. It's better not to know who he is.
They still dangled that carrot out there.
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly. And then Nick, it goes into when he goes and gets his ass handed to him in the very beginning by some punk kids that
I saw that on a preview.
Yep, smash the sign over his face. And then the guy that he was subcontracted to, the company that he was spinning the sign for, they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to take it out of your pay.
For the sign being broken.
Yes. Right?
That's hilarious.
And that's this like, oh, your life is trash? We're going to hammer you some more. And you're like, this fucking psychotic, poor bastard just can't get an ounce. So that's where you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm almost like
feeling for him.
And he's a little bit of an underdog and you get a little bit on his side. And then there's another instance where one of the guys in his clown group, one of the subcontracted clowns, gives him a gun. And he says, listen, if you're going to you'll owe me, Arthur. You know, you owe me because just don't worry. Take this gun. You owe me if, you know, that's
somebody fucks with you again.
If somebody fucks with you again.
Gotcha.
He's on a subway. 3 Wall Street type guys. They start picking on this woman. He starts uncontrollably laughing. He can't control it. And he's not trying to so much defend her. He just is so
nervous,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
That he starts laughing. And of course, they approach him and.
What's so funny? Da, da, da.
Yep. Take his rubber clown wig off because he's in his clown gear. And one guy punches him in the face, sends him down, and they start kicking on him. And boom, he sends a shot up and plugs this dude right in the head. Kills him instantly. Snaps up. Shoots another guy in the chest a couple times. Kills him. The subway stops. Now he's on the move, and he clips this other guy in the leg, and then as the guy's leaving, he times it to where the guy doesn't know whether to leave or stay on the car because he doesn't know what Arthur Fleck, the Joker, is doing. And as soon as the guy comes out, he gets out and he runs him down and fucking kills his ass too. That triggers this response from the lower middle class and the lower class that's like, here's now the representation of us.
Yeah.
All right. So that's when you see people donning masks, people wearing clown makeup, shit like that. And they start to riot in the streets because the poor is getting shit on by the rich. Thomas Wayne, who is rich and is running for the governor, is almost vilified because he's rich. And
obviously he loses because he doesn't win.
Well, they don't even go through the whole thing because when all this chaos is happening, Thomas and Martha Wayne leave a theater with young Bruce.
Ah.
All right. And so they
add that little nugget in there. They don't say it happened.
They do Crime Alley, man. They do him getting shot, not even by the Joker, but by a rando that is just part of the melee, part of this mayhem that is this riotous, environment with all these Jokers.
Is that how they ended it?
Well, they ended with him getting hoisted in the air because as he gets locked up, he gets arrested.
That's how he ends up in Arkham.
Yes, and he winds up in Arkham. So he gets arrested, right? And then as he's in the cop car, he gets into a collision with, I think, an ambulance, and they hoist him out like he's the second coming of Jesus. And they hoist him out, and then he stands up on top of the car. And as he's standing up, his mouth is bleeding because of the accident. His makeup's kind of fucked up, but then he grabs the blood and he puts a new smile on his face. And the crowd's just crazy and everything.
Feeding
like
his
that.
ego.
Yes. And so then they show him locked up in Arkham, and he's talking to this psychotherapist or psychiatrist or whatever. And
is that what's her face?
It's not Harley Quinn.
Because Harley Quinn was a doctor of his.
Yeah, I know, but that would have been awesome.
That would have been clever,
that
right?
Very cool.
Have Margot Robbie walk up.
If they would have tied that in. That's one thing.
That's the problem with DC. They don't do shit
Dumb
like that.
fucks. And so that would have been awesome. I didn't even think about that at the time. So then they show him.
And she could have made a comment like, you know, Mr. J, you ain't the usual looking Joker I deal with.
Yeah. Well, the theory between Harley Quinn is that he was such a sophisticated madman that he did like a Hannibal Lecter thing.
Oh, yeah,
and just twisted her brain.
I was just saying the difference of the last Joker.
It would have been a nice little nod. But here's what happens: is you see that there's an exchange, a long pause between them, and then they cut to him walking out of the treatment cell or whatever we want to call it, and he's leaving bloody footprints as he walks. He fucking killed her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing they never let you let go, is that he is fucking a psycho. Yeah. He is crazy. I mean, real, madman, murderous crazy, right? And they never really carved out that part of the Joker, Heath Ledger, but never so visceral to where he'd cut you with a knife, shoot you in the neck, that type of thing.
See, they
did with Heath Ledger a little bit, but not as graphic.
But I like what they did with Heath Ledger.
I do too.
Because he's willing to blow up a fucking hospital.
Yeah.
They didn't show him using his bare hands, but he was just, he drove a bus into a fucking bank, killed everybody on his team, didn't care. And I love that.
Yeah, dude. And don't get me wrong. If there wasn't a Heath Ledger and a Batman not Begins, Dark Knight Rises, there would not be this Joker movie, because he cracked the door open and he kicked the fucking door open.
He blew it open, dude.
Exactly. And so that led to, how can we then go further with this?
Yeah.
And that's what this movie's about. Now, and it's weird because after you see the bloody footprints, you see the orderlies chasing him down in the hospital, and all you see is this long hallway, and you see them running back and forth almost cartoon-like an old Three Stooges.
I got you. Yeah.
So I think, now that I'm retelling what I remember about the movie, it's really good. It's really good. It's not, if I'm ranking Jokers, because there's 30 some people that have played the Joker in
give me top three.
Top three it's Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jack Nicholson's passed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's three. I hold him in high regard because he was part of the wave that took comic books seriously. But performance-wise, Joaquin Phoenix could probably get an Oscar for his performance. Not even probably. He should be in the running.
He's not going to, though.
Yeah, but he should. Heath Ledger did, post-mortem.
He did, but he well-deserved.
Oh, 1,000%. They did some nods to him. Almost tip my hat to respect because you opened the door. He's cruising along in a car one time and he's leaning up, and the way they shot it, it's almost like when Heath Ledger is leaning his head out the window.
Yeah.
It's good, man. Yeah. It's good.
I enjoy Dark Knight Rises. That's my favorite one of the whole trilogy.
It's great. That's a perfect movie to me. And I wouldn't say that just because of my sensibilities, I wouldn't say that it's fair to compare the two, because that one's got Batman in it, and it's more, because it has Batman, it's more superhero-y. And this is just straight up, it might as well be Taxi Driver. And I know people have made that comparison, but it might as well be Scorsese's Taxi Driver.
Speaking of Scorsese, this is a good segue.
Yeah.
He has knocked superhero movies.
I know.
Big article about him saying they're not real cinema.
Yeah.
And I find that hard to believe. Yes, but then 50, 60 years ago, people said the same thing about your fucking movies, dude.
Yeah, so, exactly right.
It's like, it drives me crazy when they do these things. It's like...
You sound old, man.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're a badass, man. You're talented as fuck. You will go down in cinematic history.
You're one of the greatest directors of all time. Let it go, dude.
Yeah.
People use green screens all the time. Now you have technology that you can de-age Robert De Niro so he can be the fucking Irishman.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah,
and I love his movies. He's one of my all-time favorite directors. If I want to watch a mob movie, I'm watching a Scorsese
Hell
movie.
yeah, man.
But come on, give credit where credit's due. These guys worked hard and it's probably harder to work behind a fucking green screen than it is with live action shit behind you, because you can get the emotions behind it easier.
Yeah, you got to bring it. You got to bring more to it. You got to lend more to your imagination in order to make yourself feel like you're in this literally imaginary world.
He said he couldn't even get through Infinity War. He said he watched like an hour of it and turned it off.
And it's personal taste. The guy is a genius, man, when it comes to making movies. But, you got your crown, dude. Don't worry about this other shit,
I just don't like...
It's the same thing with Spielberg saying that Netflix movies shouldn't get Oscars. Again, not that we give a shit.
Well, The Irishman supposedly is going to debunk that, because I heard it. All the reviews are fucking, this thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, what's going to happen then? What, you're not going to showcase that at an award show because it's on a downloadable format?
They still spent $150 million making the fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, they spent that a lot.
I just don't like when old directors criticize the new techniques, because... that was them 30, 40 years ago when they were getting criticized for their film choices.
1,000%.
I'm so sorry that you didn't have this capability 30, 40 years ago and you weren't able to add it to your movies. I mean, but you had things that guys didn't have before. You had color. You had sound. Yeah. Guys 50 years, 40 years before that didn't have that shit.
Yeah.
What are they going to say? That's not real movies because you had color and sound?
Exactly.
I mean, it's fucking ignorant.
They changed the dialogue in the 60s and 70s, man, especially late 60s, early 70s, where it wasn't like, so, what do you got going on there, pal? That type of, shticky crap.
Yeah.
And you get shows like Taxi Driver and Dog Day Afternoon and The Godfather and shit like that, which are phenomenal.
No, they're awesome movies. I'm not knocking his ability.
Yeah.
I'm just, don't criticize other people's work because they're having great success right now, using technology that's at their disposal to make great cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, they're able
ridiculous.
To bring fantasy to life. You think you still want to see the wires on a Flash Gordon rocket ship?
Yeah, no.
No.
And I'm sorry. We're living in an age where people are thinking beyond our planet.
Yeah. And go back to the Pixar thing where it's like John Lasseter said, it's all about the story. It
is. It's still, at the end of the day, it's about the story.
1,000%.
These movies, we talk about it all the time. The difference between DC and Marvel MCU is story.
Yes.
Yes, visuals are fantastic. The visuals are fantastic usually in both.
Yeah.
But the story holds everything together. Then the visual shots bring the cherry on top, bring it together, bring it all together at the top. But you have to have the baseline for the story. Then you have the visuals that bring it all together. And the acting performances. And you're still directing these characters, these actors to play these characters. And it's probably even more challenging because you have so many more characters. You're on a different planet. You're supposed to give them a reaction on how they're supposed to react about being on a different planet. It's Scorsese's just reenacting stuff he's done 100 times over.
Yeah.
What's the challenge in that?
Yeah. I mean, when has he reinvented himself?
He hasn't. And he's using the same actors. Not saying the same actors aren't phenomenal. They absolutely are.
I got a note about that. So Robert De Niro's in the Joker movie.
Is he really? I thought he said, yeah, I saw
He's in the Joker movie, and he plays a talk show host. He plays basically like the Johnny Carson of Gotham.
That's weird that he's in that. Go ahead.
Miscast. I think it's a miscast. I don't think that he can't help but come across
as Robert De Niro.
As Robert De Niro, right? It's a
badass motherfucker that you want to fuck with.
Yeah, he can slide into Raging Bull. He can slide into
comedic roles.
Yeah, I mean, Meet the Fockers and
Analyze This. Stuff. Still good shit.
But he plays a good streetwise tough guy.
He does.
And that didn't translate. That didn't translate into talk show host.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be like the Johnny Carson's character.
I did see that he was in that. I forgot that.
Wasn't great.
Nah, and you know what? For all his talent, these guys just don't always translate to every role.
Yeah, try watching him on Saturday Night Live. It is painful. It is painful because he's got to be dynamic and read cue cards. It's like, holy shit.
Although he did do a good Robert Mueller.
He did, but he was limited.
Yeah, he was.
And who? I mean, he's going to go down in history as one of the best actors of all time.
Oh, absolutely. But that's why there's different. Like I always say, I view things. Yes, there's actors that become great actors, but I feel like comedians that make that jump really are really good actors.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, awesome act. I mean, he can do almost any role. Woody Harrelson, I feel, is phenomenal. Bill Murray, he's done a ton of series. Even Robin Williams. I mean, everybody said he grew a beard and he got serious. But how fucking the guy won an Oscar for being a serious actor. Yeah, I just feel like when you're a comedian, especially the kind that imitates life and does jokes more along. No, I'm not talking about like the Jerry Seinfeld type comedians. I'm talking about the ones that are really try to do imitations and stuff like that. Really are really good in the acting roles and picking up different. Because that's what they did all their lives, trying to imitate other people.
Well, not only that, but
to make a laugh.
But not only that, and connect with their audience, and they're
get the feel.
Yeah, and it's a lot of thing is observational. You get a lot of observational humor that comes into stand-up comedy. Part of an actor's job is to observe their life around them and draw from it, right?
Yeah.
And draw from it. So for someone like Robin Williams to make that transition, and there's a ton of comedic actors that have made their transitions into serious roles and done a good job acting. Are they going to be able to pull off the role, like a Joaquin Phoenix thing? Probably not, but they'll, because I'm telling you, man, that dude is an actor. Like he's a Daniel Day-Lewis. He is a Meryl Streep. He is a versatile. I'm going into the soul of this character, and I'm going to expose everything that I have.
See, I never liked Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, but you can't deny his performances, man. I mean, come on. I mean, you look at Bill the Butcher when he was, in Last of the Mohicans. My Left Foot and all that stuff.
I like Last of the Mohicans. The only one I really liked was Last of the Mohicans.
He's talented as fuck.
I know Lincoln was supposed to be a great movie. Well, he was great in it. The movie wasn't that great. I'm a history guy. Couldn't get through it.
It's a little long, a little dry.
And then We Were Blood or something for the oil thing.
I didn't see that.
It's fucking horrible.
Really?
And it got rave reviews. It's so long and drawn out.
Yeah, it was up his own
All
ass.
his movies are long and drawn out.
Last of the Mohicans, man.
That was action.
Solid.
That was cool. That was awesome. But outside that, I
Gangs of New York.
Didn't like it.
No?
Didn't like it.
Shit, I like that movie.
I didn't like it.
It's good stuff.
I just don't like him. It's just too serious. I don't like the method acting.
Yeah, he goes the hardcore method.
Yeah, I just don't like the way he goes about his acting. I mean, I feel that's why I like a Tom Hanks. That's why I like guys like that.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, he is a hardcore talented actor, serious actor, and brings it. For sure.
He does. And he owns almost every facet of the industry.
But I've never seen him go deep in characters.
What, Philadelphia?
Well, yeah, yes, he was, but like you look at
We're
like
talking about Forrest Gump. That was a deep character. I mean,
yeah,
yes, it seemed kind of shallow because he was stupid, but he played that well.
because he was too.
I know Daniel. I know. Yeah, well, less intelligent, whatever you want to say, unintelligent, on the retarded. Oh, shouldn't say that.
You can't say the R word, man.
Shouldn't say that. But Daniel Day-Lewis's characters, I get it. He lives and breathes his character. He's like when he probably played.
You don't like the movies.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think the movies are crap.
Yeah.
Like Lincoln. It's just there's so many better ways they could have done that movie.
I started that movie 10 times.
And I'm not saying he's not a great actor, but the movies he chooses to act in, he doesn't choose that many, are fucking boring.
Yeah. Nah, it's just
don't watch We Were Blood or whatever, Out for Blood or whatever the fuck that movie is.
Yeah.
That it's just I watched it, I still didn't get it. And you know me, I'm pretty savvy when it comes to picking up things in movies. It just didn't make sense.
Nah, I hear you.
It's just boring.
Yeah, nah, I hear you. Hey, real quick. So, I'm hoping you'll see this eventually. The Joker. Or Joker.
I will. I'm not going to see it in the movies, though.
My guess is, because you pitched this question to me, my guess is Heath Ledger's your number one. Who's your number two?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mark Hamill's in there.
I was just thinking that.
Right? Batman animated series.
I just think that.
He's got the best Joker laugh.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. You know, Kaylee Cuoco, the girl that plays Penny on Big Bang, is going to play the new Margot Robbie in the
animated.
Animated, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice cast.
I'd probably still go Jack.
Yeah.
You know, because I really don't like what the fuck is his name as a Joker?
Jared Leto.
God, he's a good actor too, but it was so bad. Dude, you don't make Joker a gangster. He was not a fucking gangster, you stupid asses. Yeah, I mean, if you say it's as good as it is, I'll check it out. No, I probably will think it's better than Jack because I always thought Jack was about the times, and it was very good. It was awesome for the times, but
that's exactly right. In my opinion,
I think that's where you were going to go. And it was very to the comic book, very goofy, and it
late 80s, 1989.
Yeah, and it went off to old show kind of Joker. I think he was awesome for what he was. It's Jack Nicholson. He's probably another one that's probably going to go down as one of the greatest actors of all time.
Oh yeah.
Top 10 in there. But yeah, it's Heath Ledger far and away.
Yeah.
I just said I think it's one of the greatest performances in
cinema
history because I think he had to win an Oscar in a superhero type movie the way he did. Have you even seen anybody that ever came close? I know they're pushing for Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., which is silly. Don't get me wrong; it was a phenomenal performance from Robert Downey Jr. all around. But there's just so many characters, so many different things in that you can't pinpoint one to be nominated.
Yeah, well, he was on Stern. Stern is doing shows in L.A.
Yeah,
and they set up a studio and everything. He was on Stern. They talked about his response to Stern. I love Howard. Like he asked the best question.
He does. I love how he sets it up too. He just like nonchalantly gets
and
there.
He is in full control of the whole situation. It feels like he is.
He'll start off with like him talking about his fucking dog.
Yeah,
and you'll talk about their dogs, and then somehow you'll beat around the bush about back to Endgame, and you're like, without even realizing you got there, and he gets you to say something you probably. You know you're going to say something on Stern, but you probably didn't think you'd say that.
Yeah, he is like EQ on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
He's analyzing battle it's just a reflex now, but he's looking at body language, he's looking at tone, and then he goes and he'll shift tone and he'll shift questions and he'll respond to all those little triggers and he'll get that perfect response out of you. And he asks questions like the very conversational. And makes people feel at ease and just give up the goods, man.
What I love about him is, and I think most people realize this, I would love to believe that from a lot of the interviews I saw him do, is he incorporates a lot of his life experiences or stuff that, he can relate to into his questions.
Yes.
And that's how he makes people feel at ease. It makes it feel like it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Like we're just BSing I can't remember. I think there was something with Charlize Theron and, with the fucking dickhead Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, yeah.
And he had...
Oh, it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
And he turned to a couple questions that happened to him, or people he knew of.
Yeah.
And he turned it on her, and she just felt like at ease. She was disarmed.
Totally.
So it was very clever.
And the way he was talking to Robert Downey Jr. He was very appropriate. He respects Martin Scorsese, of course, but he also leaned towards differing from his opinion, meaning hey, I respect the guy, I respect his opinion, but I don't necessarily lean in that direction. So it was very safe. He didn't go one way or the other. Whatever. It was great just to see the clip and listen to him interview him about that.
Oh, yeah.
So we went hella long, man.
I don't even know.
We're almost 2 hours in, man.
Holy fuck, dude, really?
So I apologize for how tired you're going to be tomorrow morning.
I'm tired every day, dude.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us for this week's episode of the Nick, Jon, and Jamie Show. We are on all the popular platforms. If you're not enjoying the podcast on the platform you're listening to us on, we're also on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher and Spotify and YouTube. And always, if you're digging the show, leave us a kind word. Leave us a thumbs up, leave us a like, but absolutely, positively subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter. We're at NJJ Show. We're on Instagram at NJJ Show. And we're also on the old school Facebooks. Just search the Nick, Jon, and Jamie Show. And we post whenever we're finished recording the podcast and let you guys know when to listen. Thanks again, everybody, and have a great week.